7 modules and 34 lessons, and we will complete our full stack development complete course. Starting from front-end fundamentals, then diving into our framework for front-end like React.js I have chosen for here, then backend development using Node.js and its framework like Express.js. Then database integration with MongoDB, API development or integration, advanced state management, and context API. And last lesson is deploying and dev fundamentals. So in 7 modules and 34 lessons, we will cover our our intermediate state skills for full stack development. So let's start with the first lesson. First lesson is like modern HTML semantic elements and accessibility. Here we are not going with the complete scratch basics. We will going through the basics, but also like revisiting manner. So semantic elements. Semantic elements are those elements that provide a meaningful or meaning to the developer for those tags and also for the browser that reads that code and that generates a preview. Like you have before seen the div tag and span tag. These elements are supported by the old browsers like previous Internet Explorer and like that. So in HTML5, the semantic elements are introduced, and these elements not only improve the organization and readability of your code, but also significantly enhance the accessibility of your website for users with disabilities and improve its search engine optimization. By using semantic HTML, you provide clear signposts for browsers, search engines, and assistive technology, allowing them to better understand and interpret your content. See, you will understand this in detail when you read this. Like, say, semantic HTML elements are those that clearly describe their meaning to both browser and the developer. They provide context about content they enclosed inside, making the structure of web page more understandable and maintainable. See, key semantic elements are like header tag. Represents the introductory content of a document or a section. It typically contains the heading, logo, navigation, like the content that can be represented in a header. The nav tag or navigation defines a section of navigation links. It intended for major navigation blocks, any not just any group of links. The main navigation menu on a website containing links to different sections of the site. Then the main tag. Main tag, what it do? Specifies the main content of a document. This should only be in main element per page. The primary content area of a blog post containing the article, text, images, and videos like main should not be descendant of article, aside, nav, or a footer because main content is only the main area that shows the content because header is like our first introductory part, footer is like our um, credit part, aside is like providing the additional information. Article represents a self-contained composition in a document, page, application, or a site. It could be form, post, a magazine or a newspaper article, or blog entry, or user-submitted comment, or any other independent item of a content. Then a site tag. A site tag is our page sidebar. We often use it to navigate through the like additional information in our website with our main content. Define content aside from a page content, it often used for sidebar or the related information. Okay, like example, a sidebar on a blog containing related article, author information, or advertisement. Then footer. Footer represents the footer of a document or a section. It typically contains information about the author, copyright information, terms of use, contact information, or related documents. Like footer, we can call it like showing the credits of something like that. Example. like a website's footer containing operator information, links to the privacy policy page or terms POS page, like this. Now section. Section represents a thematic grouping of content, typically with a heading. It's more generic container than article used to divide a document into logical parts. Example, a section on a homepage that introduces a specific product or service, like a table interface where each tab's content is contained within a section. If we see the difference between non-semantic and semantic elements, like meaning, no inherent meaning or purely structured, like if we are using div every section, the browser no idea which is the main content, or like everything is generic there. And like here, in semantic elements conveys meaning about the content it contains. Accessibility requires search engine optimization. Less helpful for search engine optimization because non-semantic elements do not provide any structure meaningful for the browser, and semantic elements improve search engine optimization understanding. Code readability, less readable and maintainable. Yeah, and semantic elements are more readable and maintainable. Like in a we created a document, HTML document. In here we defined header, then main tag, then footer, and if a developer see that code, that can easily maintain that code, and the browser also understand which is the main part, which is the footer, and which is the header tag. Okay, see, this is we already discussed. And then accessibility considerations. While using semantic HTML elements provides a solid foundation for accessibility, it's important to consider additional accessibility best practice to ensure that your website is truly inclusive. See how. Area attributes. Area attributes, like full form, if we see accessible rich internet application attributes, can be used to enhance the accessibility of semantic HTML elements or to add semantic meaning to a non-semantic elements when necessary. However, it is generally best to use semantic HTML elements whenever possible, as they provide built-in accessibility feature. Example, using area label provide descriptive label for a nav element. See, here nav tag we have defined, but we are also defining area level like main navigation. Then it is going to tell our browser that this is the main navigation of our website. Okay, and then keyboard navigation. Ensure that all interactive elements on your page are accessible via keyboard navigation. This is especially important for users who cannot use a mouse. Use the tab index attribute to control the order in which elements receive focus when the user presses the tab key. Yeah. Then color contrast. Color contrast. It ensures that the user is sufficient color contrast between text and the background colors to make the content more readable for users with visual impairments. Use a color contrast checker to verify that you can color combinations meet accessibility standards. Or if you are good enough with the color theory, you can also use your knowledge. Then text to image alternative, or alt text we in simplicity provides descriptive alternative text for all images using the alt attribute.